Hello everyone, my name is Trittany and I am the reader here at the Crown and Castle Collective, where we're all kings and queens of our own kingdom that we call life. This is going to be a monthly energetic horoscope kind of reading. I've done several of these before, and so these are really fun, cool monthly updates that we can kind of look into, the upcoming months to see what we're going to expect in all aspects of our life, in our headspace, our heart space, our career, and even our spirituality. And so this is for actual water sign energy. This could be your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or anywhere that's in your birth chart. This is just how water signs are going to show up in each aspect of, like I said, the careers, the headspace, the spirituality. We're going to dive into all of that. So this is, the only kind of reading that I ever actually see the cards first before I do the reading, but it still blows me away. If you could see the reaction on my face when I pulled those first 4 cards, man. Before we do get into everything though, I do just want to thank everyone who has subscribed and joined the kingdom. Of course, we are growing in numbers, which is great. It's really exciting. I'm really happy to see how far I've came as a reader and how far the channel's grown just in, the last couple of months, let alone the last year. So that's really exciting for me. If you guys do want to subscribe to my channel and you feel like I'm really resonating for you as a reader, join. And also you'll be able to vote for what video I post next. So if you don't want to buy a personalized reading, I got it. Like, I get it. I do those, but if that's not your thing right now, you can vote to see what videos I post next. And if you have any recommendations, shout them out. I take those into consideration. So again, water signs, we are going to dive right into your reading. Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces. The overall energy that you'll be feeling for June 2020 is number 38, Nurture. So the 38 adds up to, an 11. I just wanted to make sure. So when we do look at the number 11, this is a very divinely orchestrated, is what I was hearing, number 11, 11, soulmates, twin flames, but also when you take 1 and 1, you get 2. So I feel like your overall energy for June of 2020 is definitely going to be focused not only on relationships with others, as in like parental figures, mother figures, sisters, grandmothers, feminine energy kind of connections within your family and your friends, but also with yourself. This says nurture. So how are you showing up for yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? And I feel like you're really able to show up for others throughout June. And more importantly, I feel like towards the beginning of the month, you might not be showing up for yourself as much as, you're putting towards other people, but I feel like throughout the month of June and definitely towards the end of the month, you will fully reach this nurturing energy as far as really connecting with your own feminine side and really embracing it, healing it, and creating with it, manifesting with it, and fully optimizing it. And it's a really strong energy. Like that, again, we said number 11. It's a very powerful, self-fulfilled energy, but yet it's almost like you're 2 halves to your whole, or there's someone else that you may be meeting or coming into contact with that's actually going to make you yes, you're actually going to find peace, maybe making new friends or being reunited with family, or some of you could even be welcoming in a new family member. A newborn baby could be, towards the end of the month or throughout the month of June 2020, so congratulations. That could be, a newborn baby, it could be a puppy, it could be a kitten, it could be a little baby animal, something that you feel as in you have a connection with. Also, that could be for those of you who do have children. You could really be stepping into, your feminine, your more motherly aspects throughout the month of June. But also with that I feel like there's a lot of potential for you. I just want to look at it as a whole as well as when I review that. I feel like you guys are just really being patient with yourself is what matters with that. So clarifying your overall energy, we do have number 1. This says magic. It's actually an air sign card. And so air is something, you know, we can't really see, can't really grasp onto, but it's definitely something that affects us in our headspace. It's something that, you know, air signs rule mental clarity and stuff like that. So it's not something that you can really see, but you have a lot of potential magic or potential abilities. You can really manifest a lot in June. So definitely be paying attention to those new moons and those full moons. We do have I have them written down because I'm not like, I don't want to give people wrong dates. There is a full moon on Friday, June 5th in Sagittarius. And then also on Sunday, June 21st, there's actually a new moon that's an eclipse in Cancer. Like I said, I'm not a professional astrologer yet. That would be really dope. But yes, moving on. Pay attention to those dates, okay? Really work towards making your new moon and full moon intentions and really optimize those energies, because you guys have a lot of potential with this number 1 magic, as far as it being an air sign, speaking things into existence, thinking positive thoughts, and actually manifesting them in the beginning. And not only just in the beginning, but the middle and the end. Okay, there's a lot of potential that's willing to go through. And also with, you know, this nurture card, this is something that you're sharing. It doesn't look like this is, I mean, I do feel like you're fulfilling this within yourself, but more importantly with someone close to you. You could be working with people of like-minded interest or like-minded ideas, someone who is also maybe into more occult or magical practices. And to clarify that magic card, I rolled the die, and it actually gave the 2 of potions. So this means that you are sharing that energy with other people. You have the ability to really help others right now with the things that you say and the things that you do go such a long way. And I feel like sometimes it's not even when you're trying to comfort someone. You just have such a genuinity to you, and I feel like you come from a place of such nurture and loving energy that you're really able to help other people throughout June. And that's because I feel like you've really been showing up for yourself. So it makes you feel really good to show up for other people as well. We'll get more into that. So what is your greatest accomplishment for June of 2020? The first card that we have is fulfillment. Now, when I had these first 3 cards come out, okay, so nurture, there's obviously a divine feminine energy to it. There's a creation as well, because, you know, we think of newborn babies, we think of number 11. 11 is a very strong master number, adds up to a 2, which is more of creation as well, in partnerships. And so when I saw this fulfillment card, the peach, the roundness resembled also in the moon shape, so I saw a similarity. But also, I have to read this out of the book for you guys. For a lot of you water signs, if you are trying to, you know, create a family or have children, or, you know, have new additions to your family, whether that's human or not, okay? Right now, June 2020 is a really good time to do that. Be careful. If that's not what you're trying to manifest, then you know the steps to take. But we're going to definitely refer to the book, because this is phenomenal with what the energies are like. Romeo. Y'all, no. Today's actually the Gemini full moon. As I'm recording this, May 22nd, so forgive me if I'm a little bit giggly when I shouldn't be, right? So this card is fulfillment. It's actually a peach tree. The peach tree blooms early, and because of this, it is often a symbol of spring and the renewal of life. It is also the Chinese symbol of a happy marriage and of fertility. In some traditions, it stands for immortality, right? Ripe peaches also important. I don't even know what that means. Probably stands for. Ripe peaches also stand for fertility, fecundity, and great fulfillment. In Korean traditions, the peach represents happiness, riches, honors, and longevity. In the Renaissance, my favorite time period, peaches represented the heart and love, and speaking of the truth from one's heart. The sacred landscape wants us to know that fulfillment is at hand, no matter what is occurring in our lives. Put our attention on what is splendid, pleasurable, and luscious. You know what I'm saying? Find bliss in the moment. Love fully, deeply, without hesitation. Cherish your friendships. Fill your life with people. Maybe y'all do need to exercise. I don't know about y'all, but fill your life with people, experiences, and places that give you delight. Let go of people and things that don't feel empowering and that drag your energy down. You no longer need to put the needs of others ahead of your own needs. I'm speaking to you about that one. If you've had any health issues, a ripe peach represents a return to better health. We all need that right now. Savor your life with gusto and with grace. Experience and embrace life in all its permutations. If you want to conceive a baby, you taking your notes? For some reason, also, when I first started shuffling cards and drawing them, I heard 17, and I didn't even have to write it down because it was so clear. There's no full moons or any new moons. I had to pull it up and look because I had to write those down. But 17th for some of you, if you're trying to have a baby, you know what to do. Yeah. If you want to conceive a baby or a new project, okay, or start a new relationship, this card is an excellent omen for a great outcome. Yeah. So thank you for joining my TED Talk there. Reading Rainbow, am I right? But yes, I just felt like those first 3 cards all linked together hand in hand. The nurturing, the magic, the creational energy, the fulfillment, and it just seemed so necessary. But we'll let that card speak for itself. Your greatest challenges or greatest blockages for June of 2020, we have Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. The part in that book that really stood out to me is as far as putting, with this fulfillment, putting your own needs and own self-fulfillment and satisfaction before other people. And I feel like that's kind of showing up in your guys' relationships, perhaps. That could be intimate relationships or even friendships, even family connections and co-workers, like anything like that in those relationships. Your biggest challenge for June of 2020 is going to be releasing these things, cutting the cords with these relationships and these ties and these connections. I feel like it's going to be something that you can't avoid. And I feel like it's been on the back of your head or the back of your mind or the front of your mind for quite some time now, but it's inched its way forward until it's going to start just cramming itself to the front of your mind towards the end of June. So I feel like your biggest challenge is going to be, maybe releasing toxic people or toxic situations, habits, addictions even could be hard for you guys to let go of right now. Don't be afraid to ask for help too if that's the case, because it looks like you might struggle with it for a little bit, but towards the end of the month of June, it looks like maybe you will stop craving those things as much. Maybe you'll stop relying on those people or things as much. I feel like just towards the beginning of June, it just seems a little bit more dense. But it could just be a little bit of a struggle for you to let those things, those people, those ideas, those mindsets, anything like that, to let those go, because it looks like you really are making room for a lot of magic to enter your life. Moving on to Spirit's advice from you. advice for you really goes hand in hand with that last card. So what came out was unlikely. Well, I got a little bit nervous. I was like, okay, unlikely what? Like, I could kind of pick up on it already. It seems like very unlikely that you're going to be able to, you know, overcome this severing of maybe a cord or a connection or a tie that you feel to a person, a place, or a thing. Maybe you feel it fraying, you feel it starting to break away or break loose and kind of weaken because it's you've been aware of it, but I feel like it's going to be unlikely that it is officially cut off, tied up, and, you know, healed or anything like that. We all know how long healing processes takes, okay? Several moon cycles. Okay, so it's unlikely that we're gonna have this Knight of Wands in reverse. So the Knight of Wands in reverse is someone who is unable to complete their intentions. If we look at the Knight of Wands upright, this dude, you know, he's going full on into battle. He's ready. He's about to pick up that wand and actually, you know, shoot his shot, but it's in the reverse. So you're kind of being put on a pause energy. This could give you a little bit of anxiety as well. It could cause a little bit of friction within your relationships with other people or with yourself. However you're dealing with that unbound energy, that connection or soul tie that you feel to someone or something. I feel like it's just, you're meant to work through it different ways throughout June, and it doesn't have a resolution quite yet. So that is also clarified with the Four of Cups. So this can kind of be a little bit of a disgruntled energy, but keeping in mind this is your advice from Spirit. They see you really wanting to, you know, find a resolution to this situation right away, and they might be able to see, you know, how distraught you are because, you know, he's pretty upset. He might be, you could be drinking, some of you could be indulging more in those kinds of activities. Just be careful because water signs, you can get, you know, pulled away with the currents or something. I don't know what they're trying to say. It's like you get pulled out with the tide as well. You can get deep into your feelings, okay, and you can kind of get lost. Sometimes, you know, us water signs, we do like to wallow in our water, okay, in our tears, in our emotions. It helps us in the healing process. Just make sure that you're not overdoing that with that Knight of Wands in the reverse, that you're not being destructive with those tendencies or those coping mechanisms, and that doesn't have to be drinking or, you know, smoking. It can be any way of you coping. Just make sure that it's not self-destructive. Spirit sees you. Maybe you've done that stuff in the past. They want you to learn from it and they want you to move forward from it. And it's unlikely that, you know, you will probably succumb back to those energies, okay? Because I feel like you guys are working to release those energies. I mean, maybe it crosses your mind. Addiction's not easy. Like we say, healing is not linear, so don't feel bad. Don't be too down on yourself if, you know, you have setbacks or days where you're not as good as what you want yourself to be. I feel like, you know, if this is a particular person as well, I feel like you really notice, you know, your own potential, your own worth. You really see it, but maybe you also feel kind of held back, maybe even too, from this person. So like, just keeping that in mind. We'll see that later into like the love and relationship parts, but some further advice from Spirit as far as what energies, what vibrations can help you, you know, move through these energies. We have turquoise, spiritual path. Your true beliefs are becoming clear to you, which prompts you to make necessary life decisions. What that card says is you cannot ignore the truth anymore. And I feel like I said, it's been in the back of your mind. It's slowly making its way to the forefront, to the point where it's just bouncing off the front of your mind all the time. You guys do seem a little bit stressed or a little bit of escapism towards the beginning of June. Maybe you're trying to escape your reality or escape the truth. Maybe it's hard for you to deal with the truth right now. Maybe it's a situation that you don't have the answer to it yet. That's what this advice from Spirit is, this unlikely energy with that Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is someone who doesn't have a game plan, someone who doesn't know how to move forward or resolve a situation. Normally you might have an answer to how to handle situations, or maybe you're someone who's really good at giving advice all the time, but now you're in a situation where you just don't know what to do. Hello, that's why you're here. No, that's why you spend, hours watching tarot videos. But so you could be just down on yourself. You just really don't know what to do moving forward. Spirit's just saying it's okay to be in this energy. Just don't get stuck here, and don't go anywhere lower than, taking a time out and thinking about it. But don't stress out if you can't come to a conclusion quite yet, because it's unlikely that you'll find it. So stop throwing yourself for a loop. Stop spinning yourself out in a circle, okay? So this seems like it's a very prominent thing in your life, and of course you're unable to probably avoid it, but it's going to be necessary to make the changes come towards like the end of June into, I'm feeling like it's, some aspects are very soon, like towards the end of June into May. Of course, we're going to see how this situation unfolds in different parts of your lives, but for some of us even, I feel like it's long term, longer as in 6 months or several months. Just keeping that in mind. Everyone's on a different timeline. Everyone's opportunities and doors open at different times. But all water signs are coasting through the same corridor, like a little river. Moving on into the reading, into your headspace, your mental space for the month of June 2020, all water signs here. The first card that came out is Hello Water, the Page of Cups. So this is actually, well, I see it too as well as a Pisces card, just because there's a fish in the cup. But this is, I'm seeing as, all water signs energies towards the beginning of the month. It could be a little bit immature. We're not quite sure maybe how to deal with our emotions or the question at hand, how focused, and he's just staring straight at the fish in the cup. You could feel like a fish out of water trying to find a solution to your problems, and just emotionally, maybe even mentally exhausting yourself, stressing yourself out trying to get a solution. You might not be dealing with the stress in the best way possible. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't deal with my problems, the best either. I do my best though. And then we also have the Nine of Swords with that. So this definitely just reinforces that anxiety, that anxiousness that we might be feeling. You could be a little bit restless, but you could still be trying to stay productive in your time. Maybe you can't sleep, so you decide to do something else. You could be exploring new interests, new talents, new abilities, new ways that you can express yourself, because I feel like your emotions are really heightened in the beginning of the month, so I feel like it's just natural for you to need to find some way to let it out and to let it flow. So it could be something that you might not be confident with doing. It could be a new skill or ability that maybe you're just a novice at, you're just a beginner or intermediate. So it could be something that you don't quite want people to see you do yet. So it could be something that you do in secret. But I do feel like things are changing for you. And again, if this is something, if relationships are very prominent for you throughout the month of June, then of course in the forefront of your mind could be a significant person as well. So the Page of Cups is seen as a love offer, or someone who is very flirtatious, or someone who just, has a crush on someone. You could have had your sights on someone. They could have actually left you, unfortunately, this person could have left you high and dry, or maybe things just didn't work out between you and this person. And I definitely get that with the Nine of Swords as well. So of course, maybe it just broke your heart. Maybe this was someone that you you've fantasized a lot about with that Page of Cups and Nine of Swords in reverse. Maybe, you know, you stayed up late thinking about, you know, your future life together with this person and how stable it would have been and how things would have worked out in the end. And maybe, you know, maybe you did stuff with this person, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you guys had sex. And so maybe it was really good. Maybe you envisioned it to be really well. I'm feeling for some of you, you guys had someone in mind. That all may not have aligned with where you are right now. So you could be feeling a little bit emotional about that. That King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so there's definitely outside of, you know, the whole relationship situation, because I know this is just your headspace, so this could apply to several aspects of June 2020. There's something that's very stable in your life in the beginning and middle of the month that could be changing. I'm getting some of you who work from home in the beginning of the month, towards the end of the month, could be returning back to work. Because, you know, you have the Nine of Swords, they're in their bed, and then we go to the King of Pentacles, which is like, you gotta go back to, like, work zone. Also with that Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So a lot of you could be returning back to there, because we also have the Eight of Wands. So that's fast, quick movement towards the end of the month, clarifying all of that. I didn't even realize that card came out as a clarifier, honestly. I only needed 4 cards. So there could be a career or finance. There could be a stability change in your life towards the end of the month. A lot of you could be moving. With that King of Pentacles in the reverse, a lot of you could be even changing jobs as well with that Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Eight of Swords in reverse. You could be considering getting a new job as well. And I see that in the career and finances. Some of you might be considering going back to an old job or changing it up entirely. But I feel like there was something that was very stable as well. You guys could have had a really good routine going, you know, back in May. Maybe things, you know, in the beginning of the year were running really smoothly for you, were just great. And now you're kind of, you know, you've passed the turbulent part. Now you're just all like in like the rocks, okay? So I feel like you've kind of had your foundation shaken up. I feel like there might have been someone that is this King of Pentacles in reverse, someone that you really feel like you could have relied on, but maybe they just didn't fall through. Things just didn't work out between the two of you. You could have had a falling out with a crush or with someone who just shows up as a younger energy. This could be a friend or a family member, someone who's just younger than you or just more immature than you. Doesn't matter if they're older or younger, but maybe it pains you and it kind of hurts you to see that this person hasn't put in the work or the effort towards themselves. I feel like that's not your guys' energy. I feel like you guys had, you know, you came through super strong in the beginning with that nurture card, and especially this fulfillment. This is your greatest accomplishment for the month of June. I feel like you guys are really ripening, okay? You guys are very, very frugal, very fruitful, and very present. I feel like other people, the way that they're showing up in your energies are just affecting you right now throughout June. Moving on into your love and relationships, of course, the first card that we do have is the Eight of Arrows, struggle. So June might not be, you know, the most romantic month for you. That Eight of Arrows, struggles. Again, I feel like you guys are really leaning more on yourself, becoming a little bit more self-independent throughout June of 2020. And maybe you guys have been through a rocky past with someone or with several people. But again, like I said, if there is a significant person, it looks like there might be a falling out. If you are currently with someone, there might be, you know, a couple of struggles as far as how things are going moving forward. Would definitely recommend that, you know, of course you talk about it, but there's no pointing fingers, okay? It doesn't look like you're blaming the other person. Hopefully they're not blaming you for maybe whatever you're working through. But we also have number 17 in reverse. the pole star. I just made my own connection because I'm a Scorpio, but I don't like to connect my experiences completely to the reading. But okay, so the number 17, pole star in reverse. So I feel like you guys are kind of struggling to find a sense of direction with your love and relationships. And remember what we said, it's unlikely that you're going to find that answer. It's unlikely that you're going to find that path that of course leads the way. So you guys are kind of meant to maybe even find your own way or pave your own way. Just kind of go with the flow and really learn how to be more self-sufficient or self-confident in yourself as well. Be more confident in your intuition that it's going to lead you in the right direction, that you're going to find the right person eventually. Ultimately, that person is yourself. The pole star, look at that. They're like literally glowing and they're all out there alone. I feel like for a lot of you who are out there as well, searching for, your soulmate, your twin flame, a lot of them aren't, I feel like, they're not near you, of course, but a lot of them I'm feeling, we can have, in my opinion, from my experiences, okay, can't vouch for the truth, I suppose, but I feel like a lot of your soulmates, a lot of your really close soul connections are actually up in the 5D right now. That doesn't mean that there aren't any people on Earth for you right now, but Spirit's saying focus more on yourself rather than the people that you're... I feel like you guys are looking for someone or looking for something within someone, but really you need to look for it within yourself. And also clarifying that is the 8 of Vessels, rebirth. So this to me feels like a really, really, really supportive family or friend community kind of group. All of those smaller vessels are pouring into the, like, I guess you could call that like a cauldron. I don't know, cauldron. But like they all pour into the big one and then they pour right back out into a bunch of smaller ones and then ultimately back into the source of water itself. I feel like you guys really, the people who, had really fallen for a crush or, a significant person or a particular person, just really let their emotions get the best of them. I feel like you put a lot into maybe that relationship that you wanted, maybe because you saw something within them that you ultimately wanted within yourself or within your other relationships. And you just kind of let your emotions run away with you, or you ran away with your emotions and just kind of let them I feel like you went deep into fantasy mode, okay? And you're kind of being brought back into that sense of self-knowing and kind of realizing, oh, I understand why I kind of did that, or I understand more about why I felt that way towards this person or that person, or your ex or your current significant person. And then clarifying that after is actually the Fool card, the Wanderer, 0. So moving out, that picks up really well. Because, we start off with struggle in the pole star, okay? So you're looking a little bit lost at first, okay? Kind of wandering around, trying to get those answers. And then it looks like towards the end of June, moving into May, healing energy. It looks like you're really getting that. It looks like it's getting inspired or getting started, and getting supported by other people of like-minded experiences, energies, communities. Here in the beautiful tarot community, as far as self-betterment, self-healing, stuff like that, you could be referring to a lot of outside sources, people you don't know. You could be listening to new advisors, new counselors. A lot of you, I feel like you are reaching out for help, which is amazing. It's a big step in its own, and Spirit's really helping you be more open to doing that. Be more open to allowing yourself to express and be more truthful with yourself, I suppose, and with others, with what you give and expect back. So those last two cards towards the end of June was the Eight of Vessels and the Wanderer, the Fool card. That's a great way to move forward. You guys are really stepping up into your own and actually pushing yourself forward and being way more light towards the end of the month. So if you feel like you start June off on a rough foot, even like towards like the middle of the month, everyone's on a different timeline. Hopefully by the end of June you begin to feel lighter, more confident, and even though you're still not having an answer, okay? The Fool card traditionally is someone stepping off a cliff. In this card, there's still a cliff. There's just clouds, so you're still not going to have those answers, but I feel like you're gonna be much more go with the flow, laissez-faire, not as set on an outcome, but you know that you have your goals for yourself as far as where you want to go. I feel like June 2020, even if you are in a relationship, things might be a little bit confusing for you. Eventually, I feel like there will be a sharing that is needed, and open up that is needed, and that it will offer a way forward, and you'll have an outcome in mind or a goal in mind, keeping in mind, those new moons and those full moons. Pay attention to those. Actually look up, what intentions to set, how to manifest with those, and how they're affecting you in your birth chart. You can go really far with those, okay? With this Fool card, I feel like it's really promising for you water signs towards the end of the month. Moving on into the career and finance sectors for you guys for June 2020. Again, the beginning of the month, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse. So the Six of Cups in reverse, I will show you it upright. I still feel like it's the same energy. Of course, it's just read negatively or reversed. My neck has to crack, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to work today, so I've been staring at a computer screen all day. You know what I'm saying? So we have the Six of Cups. This person is kind of unmotivated even. Like, I feel like towards the beginning of the month, you guys may be feeling a slowdown in the beginning of June. Maybe not even necessarily. I mean, things could be slowed down, I feel like, towards the end of May, beginning of June, but then I feel like, you keep pushing yourself forward. I think you guys keep trying to stay busy because it shows that you're really, you're creating, you're manifesting new energies, but I feel like you're feeling a lack of creativity, a lack of inspiration, a lack of motivation. I feel like it's day in, day out. And so this card was in the reverse. And then we also had another six, but this one was upright, the Six of Pentacles. So this is kind of it's like every day, wake up, go to work, wake up, go to work, wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, wake up, go to work, eat. It was like you were kind of stuck in like autopilot for a second there. But that's just because, you could have been feeling a lack of inspiration, okay, with your job. Eight your job wasn't very fulfilling. Maybe you're just like, again, I feel like a lot of you in your headspace with that King of Pentacles in the reverse and that Eight of Pentacles. Yes, in reverse. A lot of you are questioning, should I stay or should I go? Should I get a new job? Should I look around? Should I explore my options? Yes, always explore your options. Whether or not you want to tell your job that, that's all up to you. But I feel like a lot of I've noticed in readings, a lot of people feel a little bit unrecognized right now, and I can definitely see that in the workforce. There could be people who feel like, that they are essential with that Six of Pentacles. And I mean, that's a kind of triggering word right now, but you could feel like you're being worked day in and day out, and maybe you're not getting any of that recognition that you feel that you deserve. Maybe you feel like just another cog in the wheel. And a lot of you who do make a lot of creative things, I feel like you're not seeing the individuality of your own creations. You're not seeing what makes you stand out just because I feel like you've envisioned it yourself you've created it yourself, so I feel like you're just a little bit biased. Someone does actually recognize you. They're not saying anything yet. This could be a boss, a supervisor, anyone, a coworker. Someone actually does see the work that you're putting in, and it shows in the Six of Pentacles that they're actually taking notes, or they could actually be watching your stats, they could be watching your performance, or people could be, commenting on your work and your abilities, but that's not what I was wanting to say. Your efforts. Someone could be, praising you for your efforts from afar, or someone could be, thinking to say it, but not a lot of people speak out loud. This could also be a Scorpio, but this seems like someone who, if it is a boss or a superior or a coworker or anyone like that, or even, people who see you online, maybe even, when you post what you're doing, they might not be the nicest person, but they want to say something, but they're not going to say it up front. If they do, they're going to say it in a more professional setting as well, maybe a more one-on-one personal session with you, that they will actually praise you. And that's not just because, they want to, it's not that they don't want to praise you around other people, it's just that they actually want to show that they value you on a personal one-on-one type of thing. So, yeah, I feel like even though I feel like, again, you're not seeing something in your work, maybe you're feeling like it hasn't improved, or you're not able to recognize its worth and its amazement and its performance and its appearance and just like all of the great things about what you do in your career and finances, but someone has seen you grow and they want to congratulate you on that because they've seen your hard work. And I feel like in the beginning of the month versus the middle of the month, because again, I feel like you guys are getting a little bit distracted about what's going on in your personal life, so you might be a little bit, again, stuck in this Six of Cups energy. Yeah, I was still picking up this Four of Cups. You guys could be a little bit distracted, just a little bit unmotivated, kind of sad. So maybe you're not performing as well, but then it's like towards the middle of the month and the end of the month, your guys' productivity, your performance just like through the roof, because you're kind of able to slow yourself down and do your self-reflection and acknowledge that maybe you're experiencing some difficulties in your personal life. No big deal, happens to everyone. Moving on with that, we do have the Queen of Cups. So this is where that praise comes in, okay? So someone actually sees you for your recognition, and then we also have the Four of Cups right next to that. And what blew my mind, what grabbed my attention in the Four of Cups, is that there's actually someone doing a backbend in the background in this card. She's bending over backwards, and it's like he wasn't even looking, he's looking at other people. I feel like this is how you felt. Like maybe you didn't feel recognized in the workplace and that you were doing your best performance, you were doing all of your effort, and you just weren't getting recognized. But with that Queen of Cups, I feel like Spirit recognizes that overall. And trust me, I mean, they're all watching. Those ones are going to be the ones that are going to bless you the most in your life, as far as, enhancing those future paths and future doorways to open up for you, with fate and stuff like that. But I feel like, your boss will begin to praise you, or like your superior or anyone that you do work with. I feel like, again, there's that personal one-on-one session. But I feel like you guys put a lot of work and effort into other people, and I feel like you kind of still need to pull more into this Queen of Cups as being more fulfilled with your own work, really recognizing the beauty and the flaws within, all of your creations, and actually seeing how abundant they are, and how I feel like for some of you too, you could have like a really physically demanding job, and just how strong you are for, if you've been working overtime, if you're like, especially people in the healthcare who work overnights or anything like that, recognizing how strong you are and actually, taking time for yourself in this Queen of Cups energy, taking a day off, with that Four of Cups, taking off a day for play and for relaxation and for flexibility. As far as stretching yourself and allowing yourself room to relax and, do whatever you want. And then also what was there was the Ace of Cups clarifying the Four of Cups. So again, I just feel like there is a little bit of this restrictiveness towards yourself. And for a lot of you who do creative processes with your job, you just felt lackluster. But towards the end of the month, I feel like you're really starting to be a little bit easier on yourself. You're able to go with the flow a little bit more. I feel like you don't need recognition as much just because you're impressed with yourself and your own abilities, that you're able to praise that with yourself or with spirit. Spirit's even giving you, that Queen of Cups. I feel like they're allowing for you to open back up to yourself and to enhance your mood ultimately. And some of you, yes, unfortunately, if you are working at home, you could have to go back to the office. Moving on into our last section of your reading is your spiritual development, your spirituality throughout the month of June. The first card that we do have, again, we have more cup movement, so very prominent. We have the Knight of Cups. So earlier in the same spot in your headspace, we did have the Page of Cups, a little bit more of an immature energy. In our spirituality section, you're actually at the Knight, so you guys had an upgrade. Congratulations, water signs. As far as with that Knight of Cups, the energies, I feel like, are not easy. You feel things really deeply, of course, if you are a water sign, anywhere in your chart. Just these energies, you're feeling things very deeply, but you're continuing to push forward. You're staying a little bit more whimsical with it as well. Like I said, Gemini full moon, if you're watching this as it's being posted, or even after, I feel like you guys are able to just kind of keep a light sense of humor to it, or Spirit's trying to let you see that. And I feel like that's what was needed also in your workspace, whether that's your actual career or anything that you work towards goal-wise or creatively, just to kind of stay more light with yourself, and you'll get a lot more of that progress even in your own intimate and personal relationships. Don't put so much stress on the people involved, because I feel like you're not the only one who doesn't have these answers, who is, struggling to figure out how to move through the situation and how to find a way forward. You're not the only one, of course, that's trying to find their way. And so Spirit's just saying, slow down, take time to refill yourself, refill your own cup, this Queen of Cups energy. Maybe you were looking for approval in other people. Maybe you were looking for emotional fulfillment and intimacy, or attention from other people. Spirit wants you to kind of work towards releasing that with the Ten of Swords. It's like you are starting to realize, of course, that you may have had these tendencies in the past with that Knight of Cups. It could be something that you've been doing for a while. It could be something that you've been doing out of nowhere that you kind of finally became conscious of. This could be something that's been with you through reincarnations, okay? This could be something that you've dealt with before in past lives, something that triggered that in past lives, or even in this life as well, in your teenage and younger years, or young adult years anyways. Spirit's also saying too, I feel like you guys have really exerted yourself with this Ten of Swords. You've really invested within yourself and pushed yourself to new limits, or pushed yourself to new ledges where, you know, in the past you would have definitely fallen off. But right now, you're still holding on, whether that's, you know, you're standing still on that ledge or if you're hanging by a fingernail. Spirit sees that you've gotten to the very edge, but you're even still pulling yourself back up. Moving on, we also do have the Sun card. So Spirit's definitely going to reward you for, you know, all of that hard work. You could have felt completely drained and tired again at the beginning of the month. You could feel really tired or exhausted with that Knight of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Moving forward with that Sun card, you can expect to feel recharged, revitalized, and also more self-expressive. You could again start to feel more of that lighthearted energy, feel like things are really picking up. Of course, if you are in, you know, the United States, I guess, is it the Northern Hemisphere? I don't know. If it's about to be summertime where you live, okay, you could definitely be starting to feel this warm, sunny energy as far as summer picking up, things getting warmer, things getting hotter. Maybe you're enjoying more activities outside as well, and it's allowing you to use more of your body and move around and move forward as well. If you are a water sign as well, you could be dealing with a earth sign. We picked up on Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo earlier, and I'm feeling this is really representing that Leo energy as well, particularly if you are someone who has been dealing with the Leo. And as far as with your relationships as well, maybe that's where, or any other fire sign, Sagittarius or Aries, but I feel like water and fire, of course, are the energies that we feel within a relationship, the romance as well as the passion, so that just makes sense. But in your relationships, of course, you could have felt stuck, unsure how to move forward, like emotionally, intimately. Expect that there can be some truth shed towards more of the towards the end of the month. Maybe both of you decide to, you know, sit down and have this conversation with that Eight of Vessels, that rebirth. Maybe you guys become honest with each other, or, you know, finally acknowledge more of the issue and how both of you have contributed to it, and how both of you can actually work together towards, you know, moving forward into this full energy as far as moving forward. Some of you, again, you could have been wanting family, and maybe you weren't unsure about how to bring that up with your partner or how to actually accomplish that, and they might actually be happy to hear that. The Sun card, you know, it actually talks about having a boy, so and then we also have, again, the same card that we had in the beginning of your headspace, the Page of Cups, is reflected on the opposite end side, the Page of Cups again, with that Sun card. So, although I feel like in the beginning of the month it was a heavier tone, on the opposite end, I feel like you're able to, at the end of the month, I feel like a lot of you guys will have a complete flip of your energy. And if you do kind of look towards maybe like how you were in the beginning of the month versus the end of the month, you're going to be like, wow, I just completely had a glow up, or wow, I'm really handling that situation that happened in the beginning of the month way better. Although things, you know, might still be unsure, maybe you're still going with the flow with things, but you're doing it in a much more lighthearted energy that's still allowing you to, you know, progress with this full energy and progress with the Four of Cups energy in your workplace as far as being flexible and actually being more self-fulfilled or self-efficient. And maybe you take a vacation actually, you know, in the middle of June, that's actually going to recuperate you, not only just in your workplace, but I feel like mentally and physically, water signs, you might need that badly, okay? So take that for you, boo. If this resonated with you guys, please let me know down in the comments, okay? I love to see how it's corresponding with your day-to-day lives, or, you know, if it's towards the end of the June, by the time you guys see this video, let me know what's kind of gone down throughout the month or what you're expecting to happen for you. Also, you can give the video a like and subscribe to vote to see what videos I post next, and to also see, you know, future videos, of course. I'm on other social media platforms, and you can also schedule personalized readings with me. All of that information is in the description box. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.